Hey everyone, thanks for joining the channel. Today I wanted to start a new series that I plan on doing this channel every month, and that is going over my own personal top 5 anticipated releases for the month. Today is April 1st, and I'm going to be talking about what's coming out in April that is interesting me. Again, just my taste. If there's things that you guys are looking forward to, please comment down below. I want to hear them, and maybe we can turn each other on to things we didn't know were coming out. It's so hard to keep up with everything coming out in the world of books because of how many different genres there are and indie authors and whatnot. So that's why I want to make this video just to inform people. Now, May, looking forward to May. I have a lot that personally interest me a ton in May, and I'll share those in a month when we get to May. But let's talk about April, and it's a little bit not what's usually up my wheelhouse, but that's cool. It's something different for some of the novels, and yeah, so let's get into it. I have a list, and I wanted to go over a few honorable mentions to kick us off. TJ Klune has a new one coming out called In the Lives of Puppets, which I believe is like a science fiction take on Pinocchio. That sounds interesting. If you don't know him, House in the Cerulean Sea was really big when that came out, Under the Whispering Door, so I'm sure this will get a lot of attention. And also Fonda Lee, she's coming out with a novella, Untethered Sky. She did the Greenbone Saga, saga trilogy, which I'm dying to read. Haven't got to that yet, but I know a lot of people are excited for her new novella. Now, for me, my top 5, if I had to have a 5, this would be them for April. Number 5 is Paradise 1 by David Wellington. That comes out on April 4th, so the first Tuesday of the month, I believe. Yes. And that is like a science fiction horror, probably in the realm of like an alien. So we'll see. I wish they would do some more science fiction horror. It seems like it's not explored enough. And when they do, it's kind of like just another rendition of Aliens. But I'm excited for this, and I'll see how it is. Probably not going to read it this month, but it is on my list. Number 4 is one I'm looking forward to. It's Sisters of the Lost Nation by Nick Medina, who's a debut author, I believe. And I like keeping up to debut authors. I think that's really cool to support them and get their career kickstarted. This, from what I understand, is kind of like a horror kind of Native American mythology type of book about, I think it deals with like the young girls of Native American tribes that have gone missing. And I don't think it's actually based on a true story, but it's not an actual true story, but it probably is based on a true story because I've known that they go missing. You don't really hear about it in the news or anything. So I always think of the movie Wind River. If you haven't watched that, with Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen, fantastic movie. So I'm kind of getting vibes of that, probably with some mixed in mythology and horror to add to that story. So super excited about that one. That one I'm gonna try to get to. So that's number 4 on my list. Number 3 is usually something I don't read. I don't read a lot of nonfiction and novels, and that is The Wager. I hope I'm saying that right. It's a tale of shipwreck, mutiny, and murder by David Gran. Comes out April 18th. This deals with, I believe, in the 1700s, and this is obviously based on a true story, um, of a ship from England. I think they were trying to colonize, and they were trying to go find a Spanish ship that had gold on it, I think. And I think they went around Cape Horn and kind of shipwrecked, and it was a tale, mutiny and scurvy and all these things that happen. So it gets pretty into it and pretty intense. So I'm really looking forward to that. He also wrote, which I haven't read, Killers of the Flower Moon. I think that's kind of in line. Killers of the Flower Moon, I think, is kind of like Sister of the Lost Nation. I think it deals with like young girls from Native American tribes gone missing, and that's being made into a big movie by Martin Scorsese. It's coming out this year. I'm sure it's going to get Oscar buzz. So this is his new book that's coming out. So definitely on my list. And I might pre-order that when I saw a signed copy on Barnes and Noble actually had it. So I think I might pick that one up there. I love my signed copies if you saw my March book haul. Number 2 is Secret Project number 2 by Brandon Sanderson. I'm just going to call it Secret Project 2. I am a backer, so I actually got the Kindle version sent to me today, April 1st. I have it now. I kind of want to hold out and wait till the physical, beautiful edition comes in to read off that, but I still don't have my Tress one. And I'm just going to call it Secret Project 2 for the sake of spoilers for people. To me, it doesn't really matter the title. I don't believe this one is a Cosmere. I don't believe. I think this is kind of like a standalone, and the other three are Cosmere. But the title, I have the book, so I know the title. But Secret Project number 2. Now, I don't think if you're a backer, you got that in April. Now, if you're not a backer, I think it might come out in June. I think it's like 3 months delayed. So for this list, some of you might not be able to access if you didn't back. Well, I'll replace it then for this list. Tress in the Emerald Sea comes out this month for non-backers. So that'll be my number 2 for people that didn't back the Kickstarter. People that did, it's Secret Project number 2. So either way, a new Sanderson book is on the list for you in the 2 spot. And number 1 for me is Ascension by Nicholas Binch. I think it's his second novel. I read his first one in January, Professor Everywhere, and really, really loved it. Great book. This is number 1. It's been on my list for a while. I think it's April 25th this comes out. One of my most anticipated for the entire year. He's the way he writes is brilliant. He kind of reminds me of like a Blake Crouch, Michael Crichton. It's almost like a book written by Christopher Nolan, the director. If you're almost like him, he has great ideas, and I love that type of science fiction. So the way I heard this book being described is almost like Interstellar, the movie, meets The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing movie, which 2 of my all-time favorite movies. So I'm like, this book is on my list. I think like a mountain appears in the sea, and out of nowhere, and a group of scientists kind of go to explore it. And like I think as they travel up the mountain, like time starts to get distorted, and time changes, and there's thriller aspects, horror aspects, like The Thing. That's where that comes in. So it sounds awesome. The early reviews are awesome. So I already have that pre-ordered. I'm going to try to get a special edition of that one as well, signed, because I'm a big fan of his writing. I think he's someone to watch out for. So those are my top 5 books of April. Again, a little bit different than my usual fare. Usually it's just science fiction, fantasy. This month we have a nonfiction title with the Wager. We got Sisters of the Lost Nation, which is like a horror thriller seemingly. Paradise 1 is more of a horror sci-fi, so very much different. And May looking early ahead to May is a lot more typical for me, but it's cool to see that. So let me know down below if there's any in April that you're excited for, that you're looking out, that you recommend to me, and if any of the ones I recommended sound interesting to you. So thank you all for watching, and I hope everyone has a great April.